Hi, my name is Frank J. Garcia, and this is my introduction to life science video. Now, we're going to start off by first talking about the lessons that we'll be covering this year. All of them are going to fall under the category of life science, of course. More specifically, most of them fall under biology. Now, if we break down the word biology a little more, we see that bio means life, and logy means the study of. So, the biology is the study of life. One question I want you to really think about right now is what do you think about when you think of the word life? Now, I want you to memorize this because this will be your first activity for the year. And the following is going to be a brief overview of the lesson. So, we're going to start off by going down to parts of the cell. Cell, the smallest structural functional unit of an organism, meaning everything that makes up you, your skin, your organs, your tissue, is made up of cells. In the section you're going to learn about, uh, in the section you are going to be learning about both animal and plant cells and what makes them unique and what makes them similar to one another. Also, you have to remember this important fact about cells that you could also incorporate into your life is that every part of the cell is important. It has a job. No space is wasted. Some key questions I want you to think about for that lesson will be where can you find cells, which I gave you a few examples already, and what are the differences between plants and animal cells, which you will also learn. Classification of living things. This lesson covers several levels of classification that define living things. So you may know yourself as a Homo sapien, which is which is something that we hear every day. However, you might not know that that is our scientific name for the human race. In this lesson, you will get a brief breakdown of why we are Homo sapiens, why we fall under this classification, and what other of the seven classifications we fall under. And also, we will see relations between our classifications and that of other animals or other species as well. Question to think about: why would you think we would want to classify all living things into separate categories? What do we gain from classifying other things? Following classification of living things will be the six kingdoms. This lesson is gonna be kind of branching out from the previous lesson. The highest of the six of the several classification of the seven classifications is the six kingdoms. So we have some examples being the plant system, the animal system, the bacteria system, and so on and so forth. Of course, we fall under the kingdom animal, meaning animalia, meaning animal. This type of classification is the simplest of the seven classification, considering there are only six. So if you were to tell someone that you were looking for animalia, an animalia, you would still be talking about. You could still be searching for one of the billions of known species in the world. Some questions to remember for that lesson is again, why do we break things into group? What are the differences and what are some of the similarities of these kingdoms that are the reason why we had to separate them in the first place? Then we're going to move on to genetics, the study of genes. Now, these are not the genes that you wear every day. These are the genes that live inside those cells that are in your tissue that make up you, and live inside the nucleus of those cells. We'll get more into that into following lessons. This lesson will go deep into this lesson again. We'll go into the deep command side of that nucleus. And also, I talk about a few things that we will discuss later in the lesson, and then some questions I want you to think about for this lesson and for right now, of course. What color are your hair and eyes? What color is your hair and eyes? Are you short? Are you tall? Is the base of your ear attached to your head, or is it flapped out? Where do you think the traits that you have, the physical traits that you have, come from? Then we're gonna move on to the human body. This lesson is all about you. I gave you a few examples of of the tissue the thing that makes up all of you, cells. It forms tissue, it forms your skin, your organs, your bones, and so on and so forth. Actually, strike that. It does not make up your bones. This lesson will cover this lesson will cover the human body, and we're going to be studying more specifically. You guys are each going to learn your own human body. Again, like the cells, everything in and outside the body serves a purpose. There is no wasted space. Questions I want you to remember: when you look at your arms and legs, what do you see? Now, what do you think is under that? And then under that, and then under that. Then finally, we're going to finish off with ecology. Ecology is somewhat like the classification of living things. It breaks up it breaks up our ecosystem into parts. For those of you who do not know what an ecosystem is, again, we'll be covering it throughout this year. But much like the kingdom is the highest level of classification, an ecosystem is the highest level of an ecology. Some questions I want you to think about for this lesson are: what do you think when you what do you think you will find in an ecosystem? What do you think the lowest level of an ecosystem will be? And a question I didn't add here is: what do you think is in your own ecosystem where you live? And that is what we'll be covering in Intro to Life Science.